Good morning. I'm Nick Chadwick. I'm the project manager for Callisto Racing, and we're aboard the new boat, the J125, at Larsen Marine in Waukegan. So this boat here, we finalized the purchase the end of the summer of last year. Then we brought it across back to the States. It arrived here right at Thanksgiving. We then went through a lot of the design work, and then it was straight into stripping the deck. So a couple of weeks of taking all the hardware off, doing a lot of mapping and measuring, so we can actually optimize for the new hardware that's going down. Worked closely with Harken to find out what the latest and greatest is for the deck hardware. And we decided to do quite a few projects. So first off, we're dropping the main traveler, which was a big tabletop and a bit of a shin breaker, dropping that down to the cockpit floor. I'm going to be running the main sheet from the gooseneck now down under the deck back to new Harken winches. With the newer winches, we're going to be putting a Performer package on. So we're going to use a couple of Performer 46s on the cabin top, 2 speeds. And then we decided to go for the Performer 3-speed for the new main sheet locations and the primaries. We're doing a new race bottom, so we've done a lot of keel work. We're building a new rudder design, new rudder bearings and housings. We're going to drop those in. So in the next 3 weeks, we hope to be done with the bottom work. Then we come back out of this shop and go into the storage shed and finish doing all the carbon work for the deck. So what we started from last time, you saw a lot of pen marks all over the deck. So what we've done is worked in unison with Harken and the rig designer to locate and position all the hardware where we want it for optimization. We've added some new parts to the boat, like this cam cleat holder here for the outhaul, because there was no space left on the cabin top. New Harken winches, got the new deck organizers in. Got the new mast collar in for the new rig from NZ Spars. So the collar's in right now, and we've got to finish the tabbing. We've got the new jib tracks down, checking the position of the chain plates. These holes here in the deck are so we're actually changed the main sheet system. So we've lowered it down to the deck at the back. So the main sheet now will run along the boom, down, into the boat, go inside the boat and come out to a new location at the back of the boat. This is the internal shiv box, which will house the Harken shiv. This will get cut out the liner, this will get glued up to the outer skin and then vacuum bagged up with additional carbon support. When that's in location, we'll drill a hole in the side and we're going to mount this carbon tube inside the boat, off of the shiv box and run back behind me through this bulkhead to the back of the boat where the main sheet winch is, and then come back up through the deck so the sheet goes onto the main sheet winch. So back here, this is the main area where we changed a lot. So like I said, the main traveler used to be up high. We actually dropped it down to the cockpit floor, cut the foot chocks out. Just makes it a lot easier to access the deck and walk around. And then what's Harken's done as well for us here, they've actually drilled extra holes in the track to save more weight. And a really cool feature, because as you can see where the cockpit coamings come up, you can't get the car off to service the car. So what Steve-O's done at Harken is added this part here. So this part will bolt down to the deck, the track will stay here, then this end gate will come off and then you'll be able to slide the car off, service it and pop it back on again without having to take the whole track system off the boat. So a cool little feature there from Harken. We've actually decided to go for the zircon blocks for the main traveler system, the in-haulers, the outhaul in the boom and the jib car pullers. We're doing that because these are a lot lighter, and more importantly their new system with the zircons is they're like the gift that keeps on giving. They just keep on spinning. They just go and go. So that obviously causes a lot less friction in the purchase systems, which makes it a lot quicker and easier to trim the sails. So what we have here is obviously the new Harken hydraulic backstay system. So we've actually hid the pump behind the panel. So all we've got here is just the handle that sticks out. So the pump on, and then on the side here we'll have a couple of little strings that will come out that will be attached to a dump valve down below, and that will be in line on the high pressure side of the system. So the line that feeds from the pump to the backstay cylinder, which will be external at the back of the boat there, there'd be a little string, so when you want to ease it, you just pull that and it will dump the pressure off and then pump on again. So a nice clean system and everything's hidden down below. Good morning and welcome back to Callisto. We're back here at Larsen Marine on the J125. She's changed a bit since you were here last. Fully painted the deck. We got 99% of the hardware down and installed and operational. We're a little bit behind with electronics, but we're doing a complete electronics rebuild. So every piece of cabling and electronic instruments being replaced on the boat, like we did with all the deck hardware. So here she is. Do you want to step aboard and have a look around? First off, we've got the main traveller, which we sunk down into the boat, into the cockpit floor. So this is all now in. So some hydraulic systems obviously have the panel down here with a selector valve. So you go like bang, backstay, and then you have a release valve. That's obviously a little bit heavier and more weight, and what we've been trying to do for this whole project is get the boat as light as possible. So to do that, we just went for a standard pump, and then with a dump valve, which is a little black valve unit down below, has a little lever on it. We attach these lines and that then eases, so the whole system has a lot less weight. So obviously this hasn't been set yet. We'll get the hydraulic loaded. When it is, we'll adjust this line down below so this board sit tight to the side of the deck. So the main trimmer can then just put his thumb there and just rotate very slightly for little eases on the backstay. Or if he wants to dump the whole backstay, just pull it out and the whole backstay will dump off. So what we've done here for the spinnaker, rather than having hard pad eyes mounted into the deck, we went for a lightweight option of the Harken gizmos. So this is just basically a soft loop that goes through the deck to a dog bone behind. And then what we've done for the spinnaker sheets, so for peeling, for putting 2 sheets in, we went for the wide body Harken Blackmagic 57s. So super lightweight, strong, and looks kind of cool as well. And we have the same for the twin lines as well, for the turning blocks for the spinnaker sheets, which are up here, and these are the smaller 45s. Now if we just move these boxes out of the way, so to go with the main travel that's been dropped into the cockpit floor, we decided to get rid of the big main sheet purchase with a block and tackle right here, then drop the main sheet into what we call German main sheet system. So it's just a single block down here on the car, the lines will come up to the boom, run forward, and then it was a question of trying to run the main sheet back from the mast. So what we opted to do was go below deck into some tubing, comes out through here to the clutch, to the new 3-speed main sheet winch. So it just cleans up the whole deck. So 50.3 performers for the main sheet, the primaries, and then the 46s performers for the cabin tops. So if you want to come a bit further forward, we can show you some more of the Harken gear. So again, what we've done with the jib cars is a little bit different. Rather than going for the standard jib car with the fixed shiv, we decided to go for soft loop attached Blackmagic 57s. Wide body again, so you can get 2 jib sheets through. And again, this was just another way to save some weight on the boat. So we have that for the number 3 tracks with a soft strop going back to the Genoa block. And then all the purchase systems for the main traveller and the jib car pullers, we decided to go for the zircon blocks. So lightweight and very low friction. Yeah, so what we decided to do with the jib car adjustment is rather than having multiple adjusters, we attached the 2 cars together and then went for the purchase on the inside. So you've got one purchase system which can control both cars at the same time. And this is also where we dump the main sheet comes into the deck to tubes down below, and this is where we utilised and used another Harken shiv. Built a housing for it and glued that into the boat. Pole out is right here. That's going to be the pole out and the purchase down below deck. That's going to be the out haul for the main. This one here is going to be the vang, double-ended, one either side. And this one here is going to be the in-hauler system for the jib sheets for the number 3 track. So there'll be a purchase in between the cam cleat and the deck organizer. A line would then run over to the lure jib sheet and back into the base of the mast, so you can actually in-haul the number 3 sheet.
I'm Jim Murray of Callisto Racing, and we're here at Larsen Marine for the sea trials of our newly refurbished J125. It's a beautiful boat. It's been a long process. The boat was found in Europe about 1.5 years ago by our friend Bill Colombo of Doyle Sails. We've been looking for a J125 for a number of years, and we're tremendously excited to get it back over here to the States ahead of the 100th Bayview Mackinac race. I have friends out on the West Coast who own a J125 Hamachi. I've had the pleasure of sailing on that boat a number of times, and it's a fantastic platform for amateurs. And a core thesis of our program from the beginning has been, let's take a group of Midwestern amateur sailors, let's go have great time sailing distance races in the ocean principally, and let's just become better sailors. And the J125 is a platform to go do that back in an amateur context after we've had an opportunity to learn from some of the greatest pros out there. So we're going to go out and put the boat through its paces. We've been working closely with Steve Orlebeck from Harken, with Justin Ferris from Doyle Sails, and with our navigator Soapy Moore from the 52 to really come up with just a very different rig and a very different sail platform for this boat. First time we've ever had it out on the water. I think we're going to focus today on jib and main sailing. Maybe if we feel good, put up an A2. It's a little bit breezy today, which is kind of exactly the conditions that you want for this kind of boat. No way we get out of there without putting up a kite.